In today's tutorial, we're going to go over how to create and deploy emails from within the HubSpot platform. So to get to your emails, you want to go to Master Navigation at the top, go to Marketing, and go to Email. This will bring up a list of all of the emails that you have sent, all the ones you're drafting, all the ones you scheduled, even all the ones that are published for automation and are being sent through workflows. So if I want to create a new email, I'm going to go into the top right where it says Create Email, this orange button. I'm going to click on that. And I'm actually going to make a regular email. We'll come back and I'll make an automated email as well. But again, the whole process is going to look pretty much the exact same. Choose regular. It's going to let me choose from any of the default templates that HubSpot gives you, or ones that we've created through the template builder and the design manager. So I'm just going to choose a one column one. This is a super simple email, super simple, basic email demo. I'm going to create that email. And so this was, again, made through the design manager way. It's made through a regular email template that we kind of built within HubSpot. You have this logo up here. You can override it and choose a different image if you wanted to, or you could leave it as the direct development logo that's being pulled in from your portal settings. We have our main email body, which is really just all of the content of the email. And that's kind of it. I mean, there's some social sharing if you want that. You can also remove it if you don't want it, or you can choose a different template that doesn't have it. Just note that this footer information is required in all emails. You are legally bound to have at least either this update your email preferences to choose the type of emails you want to receive, or unsubscribe from all future emails links. This is due to CAN spam laws. So make sure you at least have the update your email preferences link in the footer so that people can unsubscribe from this email if they so desire. In the actual header information, the from name, so this is like, who's sending it. Is it Patrick? Is it Zach? Is it Shane? Which email are they sending from? Is it from their personal one, or maybe it's more of a company email? So maybe it's coming from the DD team and it wants to come from, marketing@dd.com. We have our subject line, again, pretty basic email stuff with some preview text for those clients that support it. When you're done, you press done and all of that is saved. In our settings, we have our internal email name. This is what you use to search within HubSpot. Again, no one's really going to see this except for the people who have HubSpot accounts trying to edit or send this email. The subscription type is basically what kind of email are you sending? Is it a blog subscription type? Is it a newsletter? Is it about events? Is it about podcasts? What is it about? All of the subscription type is set in the portal settings. We have another video on how to create subscription types, so go check that one out. And then any potential campaign that this email is associated with. Is it part of our guide to social media for Gem, or is it just for fun, or is it part of our push to join to subscribe to one of our blogs? So in advanced settings, a web version, people can click on a link to open up this email in their browsers if they want to look at a web version, and then you can edit or use a different template if you really don't like the template you're using right now. Recipients, because this was a regular send list, we have a tab for recipients to choose specific lists of people. So maybe I want to send it to all NAGAP 2019 attendees, so it's going to be 238 people. But I definitely don't want to send to any customers and evangelists. I'm going to exclude those people. So in any cases where there is a overlap between these 238 and this 29, we make sure that anyone who's maybe in this list, in the exclusion list, but also in this list, is not sent this email. So that's how you exclude it. You can also choose individual contacts if it's just, you want to also include yourselves or some other people on your team in there as well. This is a checkbox to basically say you don't want to send to unengaged contacts. This is kind of a gray list option. Again, this is defined as contacts with low engagement are those who haven't opened the last 11 emails you've sent them. So if they haven't opened the last 11 emails you've sent them, they'll be added to this unengaged contacts list, which was created by HubSpot. It's part of a gray list to help make sure that you're not sending emails to people who just really don't want to get emails from you. You can review it. It's going to let you know any parts of the email that are missing or that aren't correct, or that you need to have values for before you're able to send it. Something like default text, like we haven't changed any of the text in here at all, and we haven't chosen a from name or a subject. So these are all important things that you have to finish before you're able to send this email. Well, assume all of that's done. We can now send it. So it's very similar to like a blog post. We can send it now or schedule it for later or schedule it based on time zone. So this would basically just check what time zone they're in and say, okay, well, 7 a.m. here is not 7 a.m. 7 a.m. on the East Coast is not 7 a.m. on the West Coast, right? So if you want to do it scheduled based on time zone and do it on 7 a.m., it would dynamically send out this email based on what HubSpot thinks their current time zone is. You can learn more about how HubSpot does that by clicking this link. And again, like most other things in HubSpot too, we do have a View Revisions tab, so you can get to see how this email has changed over time and who's done it, in case you ever make a mistake or you really like the older version better. So that is how you make a one-time send email. Just really quickly, the process for making the automated one will look exactly the same, except in that pop-up, instead of choosing regular send, you'll choose automated. But there is a case as well, like, let's say you make a regular send email like this one, but you actually meant to make an automated email. So this is actually, we're going to go through that process again, where we're going to choose automated. And so you'd have to, do super simple basic demo. Oh, yeah, got that. Okay. We do auto. So you could create it from scratch, if you wanted to, and just follow that same one. Or we could clone it, do classic editor, and then when you go over to recipients, you just save for automation instead. So instead of doing add recipients, you save for automation, and that is now your automated version of the email. Or, you could just do that in the actual regular email, recipients, save for automation. It's going to look very different when we use the drag and drop. So both of those emails were created using the regular, default classic email editor in HubSpot. There is a new way to create emails in HubSpot. So if you go back to create email, we'll create a regular one again, but I'm actually going to use the drag and drop version. So this will give you a lot more basic templates created by HubSpot. You'll see that none of our other templates that we have, are the ones that we created in our design manager, are actually in the drag and drop tool. This is because the drag and drop does not actually use templates. So let's say I'm going to make a simple email, right? Using the drag and drop editor. As the name sounds, this is a drag and drop editor. So let's say I have all of my text here. I want to add a divider. So there's a divider there now. I can make it, higher. I can choose how much width it has. I can change the color. I can make it dotted or dashed or solid. I can, left align it or center align it. I can remove the padding or, add the padding. I'm going to put that there. And then I want to put an image underneath that. Then I can select an image. I'll put, the DD Studio image right there. Okay, that's looking good. But this is all as, just one column. So I actually want to add, let's say a 2-column layout. So I'm going to add, I'm going to grab this in the layouts tab. There's this 2-column one. I'm going to drag it over here and I'm going to just drop it right there. And then I'm going to add, a text module there and a button module there. And this button is going to link to, a specific page. And it's going to say, this is a button. It's going to, right, let's just pretend it's going to the direct development homepage. So something like that. I can change the color to match our brand. So it's going to be this orange color, that's our orange. And then I'm going to change, our, this is header, and then, this is body. As you can see, this is a header 2. I can make it header 1 if I want to. And then let's say I wanted, a different layout. I want a 2/3, 1/3. I just drag that layout there. And then I'd, add another image module there. And I choose whatever image I really would like this one. And then I would put a text module there. And I just edit the text as needed. Okay, so that's how you kind of create the drag and drop version of the email. Again, it's pretty basic. You're just kind of limited to these modules and these layouts. But because of that, you can build out pretty awesome emails pretty quickly. You do have some global design features. So the background color defaults to white for this one, but I can change it to orange. I really like it white because it's really clean, it's simple. This is not as overwhelming, but if you really want it to pop, we can, change the background color and the body color to, really, really, shock people's eyes. You can add a border if you want to. That would change it to the plain text full width, which is actually a different template. We can go back and check out that in a few minutes. You can change the kind of global styles. So by default, you have all of these within the Arial font family. At 15 pixels for the paragraph, which is all of this. Whoops. And then, for header ones, which was, this one right here, this is a header, 28 pixels, and header 2 right here, which is 22 pixels. By default, our link colors are going to be kind of this light blue. You can, again, make it that, link color that is to your brand. And bold it by default. Usually, it's always at underlined, but you can italicize it as well. So all links in here will be italicized. I'll leave it as underlined. By default, you kind of have this button information right here. So this is has a border radius of 8. The button color is always set to blue, but I change it to orange for this specific button. And again, it's using this font family at this font size. Then again, by default, when you add a divider, it's going to be 1 pixel in height, this color black, and it's going to be solid. But if you change it in the design settings, you change it, as the default ones. Settings will look very similar, right? You have your from name, your from email address, your subject line, your preview text, your internal name. So this is what people would search for. Subscription types, the campaigns, what languages, and you can even A/B test it if you want to. So basically, it's going to look very similar. It's going to be the same exact fields as the regular, email editor, and it's all going to be required in order to send out this email. Again, you can, because we chose this as a regular send, you have to choose specific lists to send it to. But, let's pretend you accidentally chose a regular send, but you actually wanted to be automated email. So if that's the case, you would have to go up to the top right where it says actions and convert to automated email. And now this email is an automated email, and it's ready to be published and used in a workflow later. Otherwise, if you do the opposite, convert to a regular email, and you can schedule now, send it for later using lists, both the recipient lists and the exclusion lists, and the checkbox for the gray mail. This is where you would edit the internal name. So again, this would be, my super simple drag and drop email, right? So if I wanted to find this email within HubSpot, this is what I would search for. When you're done, again, you can send a test email to yourself. It's in the top right up here where it says send test email, and that would just send it directly to your inbox. You can preview it as a specific person in case you're using personalization tokens, and just make sure that, it looks good in Gmail and Outlook and whatever other email clients you use. And then when you're done, just make sure you send it. And that is it for both the classic and drag and drop email editors.